Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SimAirport. I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day, because I'm certainly excited to be back here at ConflictNerd International Airport, where apparently I put the metal detectors backwards. Let me tell you something about these metal detectors. Let me just take you by the hand, just set you on my knee and tell you a story, alright? Metal detectors in this game, as far as I can tell, can only be placed in one of three ways. A lot of people have been saying, hey, the metal detectors are backwards. People are walking through them, then walking back up through them, and that's how they're getting scanned. The problem is that this game will not let me orient the metal detectors in such a way that people would use them from the top to the bottom. There's another object that has that happen to it as well, and that's the body scanner. The body scanner can be sideways, it can face down, or it can face that way. But it will not let me orient it in such a way that people would enter it from the top. And that's the same with the metal detectors. So I'm fully aware that that is a little bit of a snag in the security process. But really, I can't help it. There's nothing I can do. So, don't worry about the metal detectors. They work. And they will continue to work for quite some time. You might be asking yourself, well, how do you know they're going to work for quite some time? Well, let me tell you something whilst you're conveniently, you know, that's my knee. Whilst you're conveniently sat on my knee. So, story time. I may have already recorded a part 4 and a part 5 of this Let's Play, and originally part 5 was going to be the end of the Let's Play. And you might be thinking, no, don't do that. Don't worry. I don't currently plan on part 5 being the end. The reason the original part 5 was the end is because I did a lot of things with the airport. I managed to get a lot of the giant flights coming in, 500 plus people on one flight, and the frame rate was below 10. It was below 5 in some places, and that's unplayable. So that's the original reason that the original part 5 was going to be the end of the series. Now, with that said, I now know how to not do that, and I now know how to strike a balance with those airlines to not have the game tank in terms of frame rate, so that's my goal. My goal is to expand this terminal out considerably, get several more runways, move this particular gate over a little bit so I can get 4 or 5 of the small gates along here, and some big gates down here. And I'd also like to expand baggage claim a little bit to get a bathroom down here, because a lot of people come through baggage claim and then go up and back into the main bit of terminal. So I'd like to do something with that. I'd also like to get some bins, because bins are apparently something I do not have. So if I get myself a garbage bin, I'm going to throw one there. And I'd like to throw one just there. And I might throw one up in that corner, but that doesn't seem like a great location for it. I would like to throw some bins just down here, so that the filthy buggers leaving can drop off their garbage, and maybe some bins there as well so they can drop off more garbage. We probably want some bin. Can I get a bin in the restroom? Like, is that maybe an idea? Get a bin just like there and there? That might do some good stuff. Either way, people have been going nuts over the fact that I haven't had bins thus far. So we now have bins. We also have $88,000, which is pretty good, but we could make more. We could make a lot more. I'm going to increase my price per passenger to 100. I'm going to increase my runway usage to 2,000. We'll not go too crazy with that one. But what that'll do is make us considerable money per plane that lands, because every passenger is $100. So this plane, for example, can have 145 passengers. That's a lot of money. This little plane just got me 1,800 based on passengers. That can have 9 passengers. So yeah, that's... Wait a minute. Yeah, no, that's alright. That's... Wait a minute. It doesn't matter. This plane, for example, 21,500. I was about to do the math there. I'm not even going to try. So, let's go ahead and... Can I put a bathroom in here before No, there's probably not much point putting a bathroom before the security exit. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go to build, I'd like to build a fence, and I'd like to bring that fence over to here and around like this, so I can have some space to build off of the top of baggage claim. Now, the issue with that is, of course, that currently we don't have any way to get into that space, but I'm pretty sure can my workers, can they make it work? No, maybe not. Oh, no, they are. Yeah, they can just go through the wall. I'm so glad that my workers have the ability to just phase. That's a good, it's a good trait. If any of you out there are running your own business, make sure you hire people that have the ability to phase through solid matter. That is really important in a potential employee. Anyway, let's go ahead and get some foundations done up here. Because what I'm thinking is I'd just like to expand this entire area considerably. You know, get some big bathrooms in here. We could maybe toy around with a cafe. That is something we could maybe do. I don't know if there's much point in toying around with cafes because I know for a fact they don't really work. But we could. Why do I have this fence? I've just realized. This fence serves no purpose. Because no one can get through this area towards the secure space behind the terminal. So yeah, that fence doesn't serve much of a purpose, really. Oh well, we'll not worry too much about it. I mean, I guess I will just go and demolish it. Because I might as well. So we'll demolish all of that. And I'm also thinking that I would like to expand quite considerably my terminal over here. Because the taxiways are exactly 10 tiles, 10 units across. So it's a 10 by 10 square. So this particular bit of terminal is obviously 10 in depth here. So what I need to do is go to here and do something like this. So 10 by whatever I decide to do. And I want to just extend all of my my gate space the whole way across. Because the idea is that eventually I'd like to have some big airplane gates down here. And I'd also like to move the exit of the airport sort of. I want to have it sort of snake around through everything. Maybe come down a corridor here into baggage claim between like some bathrooms or something. And then I can get rid of this. I just think that might look a little bit better. And I would like to do that, but it's just going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt to do that initially because I don't currently have the money. But with that said, a plane's coming in for landing, which got me $9,700. Not the biggest plane in the world, obviously, but that's all right. I am not going to complain. $9,700 is a considerable amount of money. So, let me go into here and maybe put some carpet. No, carpet's not a good idea. I want to measure this wall. So this is 18 across. So I would want to go, if 9 and 9 is 18, I want to go 8. So if I go to 8 and I do a wall there, just like that, and then I do that as well, that can be 2 separate rooms. I don't know why we're gonna need 2 separate rooms, but it keeps that corridor right in the middle there, which I quite like. So I'm going to put the doors there for the 2 separate rooms. This one, I guess, can be a bathroom. This could maybe be a kitchen for a cafe or something. But this corridor is going to be important because this is where I'm eventually going to start routing people through when they arrive in the airport. That's the plan, anyway. It might work, it might not, but we'll see. What I'd also like to do is go to build, go to carpet, and bring this old carpet up through here. And then throw some tiles down in the bathroom. Because I figured that's probably a good idea. So we'll get some tiles there as well. This place over here, I'm not really sure what it's going to be. But I will put some carpets down anyway, because I think that's going to be nice. So we'll do that sort of thing there. We'll get the carpets in, we'll get the tiles in. Eventually, we're going to get the toilets in. There we go. So if we go to objects and we go to toilet. Now the bathrooms are a bit weird in this game in that they are just toilets. And they're not in stalls or anything. They literally are just toilets in the middle of the place. You just do your business and get on with your life, really. It's a bit strange. It is a bit strange. But we're not going to judge, because apparently we're a very, open society here in, everyone that goes through ConflictNerd International Airport is very comfortable in their body. That's what we're getting at here. There's no shaming. You just do what you need to do. It's a natural process. You don't mind that you are on display. Oh god. There we go. That's gonna be a restroom. So the restroom zone is gonna need some sinks, but that is now a functioning restroom. So in theory, yeah, there we go. She's keen. She's off to just wash her hands, though. That's all right. But there we go. A functioning restroom down by baggage claim is super useful. That's a really good thing to have. Because, you know, it means that people are going to stop going up through here to go to the restrooms in this area. So, there is a lot of work that needs done today. Like I said, I want to expand my terminal. I want to move these gates a little bit. But I also need to make sure that I don't overdo it. I need to not expand so rapidly that ticketing and security can't keep up with it. And that's going to be something that's important. I do want to reroute the people that come through this corridor a little bit, but I also want to make sure I always have room for security. So we do need to be careful. So what I'm thinking is eventually I'm going to extend up this way quite considerably and just get a massive space of ticketing. But I'd also like to extend maybe out to here, maybe right up to the road, and that can just be a huge security space. I don't know. I just need to keep in mind that this space will be needed eventually for security. Now, speaking of things that we do need, we need to go to staff, and we need to get ourselves a chief operations officer. Throw her slash him slash that person into their office, and I want to immediately go for road building, because that's going to get me upgraded buses, which is going to give me, actually, you know what? I don't know if I want that. An extra double-decker bus every 30 minutes. That's really only going to be useful for pickups, but it's just going to clog things up, isn't it? I feel like that's all it's going to do. Road building is useful, because what I can do is have a road that comes off of here, goes into the airport grounds, and that's where, you know, garbage can be collected. That's where deliveries can be taken. It takes that stuff, you know, off of the old road here, but we do need to be very careful. Now, I'm curious to see how many of these people are going to use the new restroom. If any of them. Not that many. But it does mean that they aren't going up to the terminal. Well, hold on, where are you going? Where are you? Right, you. I'm watching you. I can't click on you. Oh, now I can. Okay. We're going to follow you. Where are you off to? There's a restroom down there! Wait, are you getting on a... Where are you going? Are you just... You're transferring. Okay. You could have just went to that restroom. Although, maybe... Yeah, you probably... I guess you do have to, like... go through security again. Yeah, okay. Right, she was correct. Let's not worry about it. She was correct. Let's not make a big deal of it. Right. So let's head over here and let's start expanding the terminal a little bit. I know I said I don't want to do it too quickly, but I do want to make sure... Hold on, what distance is that? So if that is 10... So that needs to be 10. So if that's 10... I need to go like this. Now, how much money is this going to cost? That's a lot of money. Let's go to there with the initial expansion. Obviously, a lot of cash to do that. But the reason I'm doing that is because, like I said, the taxiways take up that much space, which is important for a start. But the airplane gates snap to the same grid as the taxiway. So I could have left this at that size, but that doesn't give me enough room for the gates, especially if I'm putting the big gates down here, which I would like to do. That's also part of the reason I want to move this this corridor, because I can put a big gate there and there, or there-ish. I can get more of the big gates, even though I'm not going to be using them all that much. That's something I really want to stress. The big gates are not going to be getting used that much. I'm going to have, like, at most 3 big flights in a day, morning, afternoon, night, and that'll be it. because 500 plus people going from one, actually 500 people getting off of a flight and 500 simultaneously waiting to get onto the flight is a bloody nightmare in every way. Security can't handle it. I mean, admittedly, I tried it when I had this kind of setup here, but security has trouble, ticketing has trouble, everything just has trouble. All right, everything has trouble. It's a nightmare. So we're going to try and avoid that. Now, these guys are actually doing a pretty good job over here with the new expansion to the terminal. I also, interestingly, I have discovered a way to optimize queues a little bit. I know a number. I know a number that'll work, but I'm not going to talk about that just yet because we're not going to be touching queues just yet. I do want to go in and get some flight info displays though, because apparently these are actually important. I don't know if they are. I've heard reports from the comments that apparently flight info displays actually are useful, but I am not going to confirm nor deny whether or not they actually are, because frankly, I don't bloody know. But we're gonna get them anyway, because maybe it will let my passengers know that, hey, dum-dum, your flight's about to take off. Maybe it won't, but we can try. I would like to get some flight info displays down here. I think that would be a nice set of locations for some flight information. Just down there by security. Then you can come through here and immediately get some flight information, I guess. I guess that'll be okay. Again, I don't know if it actually does anything. I don't know if it's actually useful. But, I mean, airports have flight info everywhere. So, I can't imagine it'll hurt, so we'll go with that. Let's get more foundation in here so we can... Ooh, how much are we actually going to need to do this? Approximately... I'm going to approximate about 200,000... Yeah, about 200,000 pounds is going to be necessary to get this done. Also, Pacific Airlines 8150. Can I cancel you? When did you land? If we have a look at the old sketch over here... Pacific Airlines 8150 is a nighttime flight of 19 people at most. You are cancelled for the sole reason that I can get nighttime flights that will make me so much more money. And I don't think having an aircraft of 19 people landing here at the airport makes much sense. So I want to go to Rexicana, and there's a Boeing 707 with 180 passengers. That's option number one. Galactic Point does Airbus A350s and A380s, so those need the bigger gates. Ford Air has a 767, which is 250 passengers at night, so we'll take that. So that's a much, much better option than the whatever the hell it was. So this guy is going to go right about there. And that should be totally fine. Now, something I would like to do is I'd like to get another runway. And the reason I'd like to get another runway is because it means that if a flight is... If a flight is coming in for landing or taking off early or anything like that, the other runway can be used. So, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get some taxi. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that yet. I'm not going to do that yet because I don't think we need it. I need to be really careful to not just overspend, I guess. Now, this is a bit of a problem, you know, if there was another runway, that plane could have just taken off immediately. But we'll not worry about it. I'm gonna try and make a point of just not overspending. I don't need a second runway yet. Once we have everything in place, such as the other gates, the taxiways, all the little things that I want, I think at that point, we can look into getting another runway. But I do think I might have the money to get this foundation in here. I was so close. 103. Oh, Jesus. Where did all my money go? I guess I'm still paying back my loan, aren't I? Yeah, let's decrease my loan so I'm not paying 5 grand every night. That's a little bit of a pain in the butt. And it's not much longer until I can pay off the entire loan. I'm also paying nearly $1,000 in staff wages every day, which is kind of interesting. Have we got road building yet? No. So this is something I think I'm going to change a little bit. I'm going to move my... Once garbage is done here, I'm going to move my garbage zone right down to here. And the plan eventually will be to have it in the airport grounds. But if I move the garbage zone out of there, and I destroy that, what it should do is mean that garbage at the end of the day isn't going to back everything up, which is kind of ideal. So put a garbage zone down there. And that'll hopefully help things out a little bit. That'll hopefully help things work. Obviously, my janitors now have a hell of a distance to go, but they can deal with it. That's not my problem, it's theirs. They just have to be physically fit to be a janitor here at the airport, which, to be fair, in a way you probably do, because you're doing a lot of walking every day across a pretty big building. Although, I was in Manchester Airport overnight, and the janitor there was on a big, like, ride-on floor cleaner. It had a giant brush, sort of like a street cleaner, but for floors, and it would like polish them. It was kind of loud, but it actually looked really fun. The dude was pretty much drifting it around the hole. It was Manchester Drift. Manchester Airport Drift. The lesser known Fast and Furious movie. Starring that janitor on his floor cleaner. It wasn't a buggy. It wasn't a cart. That's one thing I will. It wasn't like a little buggy. It was a big, like, machine thing. I don't know why that matters. It doesn't. I just thought I'd share. Let me go ahead and pay off my my loan completely there. So the current maximum loan is 100,000. I have to imagine that goes up eventually. I don't know if I can increase my maximum loan in this version of the game, but I have to imagine that in some future version of the game, your maximum loan will go up. Also, that is a big plane. A Boeing 767 is it's a sizable aircraft. Boeing 707 with 70 people. It's a bit smaller. But you know, this airport's working. This is one of my favorite things with this game. Is like stepping back for a second, like zooming out and just looking at it and going, yeah, this is working. People are going through security. Security's not backed up or anything. People are getting through. These guys are queuing up to get onto here, and it's working. Now, one thing I will say, going back to what I said earlier about potentially having a thing with queues, I also realized that bin is blocking off that particular bit of pathway there. So I want to get rid of that bin so people can actually walk through here. There we go. Yeah, that bin was causing problems. I have seen a couple of people mentioning that apparently having one queue is probably more efficient than two, especially with the first class only thing. Why did so many people miss their flight there? I'm assuming a flight had to be cancelled, right? Yes, the 9 o'clock flight. Possibly the 9 o'clock flight? I have to assume it was that one, departing at 11. I have to assume it was completely cancelled because, yeah, it failed to reserve a gate. So, yeah, the Aerostar flight that was supposed to depart at 10 departed around 11:30. So the Starflight Embraer, whatever it is, that couldn't land. That's what happened. So this is on final approach. You're en route. You're en route. Yeah, that's fine. That'll happen from time to time. The point I was making, though, is that it might be an idea to maybe only have one queue. Maybe we don't do first class only queues. Maybe we don't do any of that. We just have the two gates, the two desks for one queue. That's definitely a possibility. Not really sure if I will do that, but it's definitely a possibility. Now, you're landing. How much money is that going to give me? 106,000. I'm pretty sure that's more than enough to do the thing. Yes, it is. Let's get that built, lads! I realize that destroying that bit of wall down there, if you don't do the construction first, we're going to run into some problems with security. Yeah, we now have a bit of a security problem, don't we? Possibly. Wait. Does it not consider it a security breach if there's a hole in the wall behind I feel like this is still a security breach. I mean, yes, these people have all cleared security, but they're supposed to be able to only go through the doors, not the hole in the wall. But to each their own, I suppose. If the game doesn't consider that a security breach, why are you here? Pacific Airlines 8016. You need to be cancelled. Pacific Airlines 8016. We are going to cancel you. And that is an afternoon flight. So let's go to here. Let's go to Rexicana, where we can't get an afternoon flight. Galactic Point isn't going to give me anything. Starflight has a Boeing 737, 740 passengers for the afternoon. We will take that. Thank you very much. And that looks totally fine. We could shuffle it back a little bit. We could shuffle you. Oh, no, we can't. Okay, this looks like the prime area for flights to get cancelled. This really does. What's my smallest I feel like this flight here, the Aerostar one, might have to go. 75 people, you're going. So you're going to get removed, you're going to get shuffled a little bit, and that'll give us a little bit more of an opportunity for all those planes to come in. Yeah, you know, 75 people is useful, it gets me money, but I want to start prioritizing slightly bigger flights. I'm not that interested in going for the really small ones. 150 to about 300 people on the average flight is a good number. The larger aircraft having, you know, 500 plus. Like I said, that's going to be, you know, one of those in the morning, one in the afternoon, one at night. Because if we go over that, we do run into problems. So let's go to here. We have road building. And I think we're going to go for upgraded buses. But I'd also like to get the garbage truck onto its own little section of road. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to here. How much is road? 8,000 per segment. Never mind. Never mind. We'll do that later when that can be afforded. I would, however, like to remove these security exits because they are completely unnecessary at this point. We really don't need those anymore. We do still have some down here, so everything's totally fine. I am also thinking that I would really like to do something with this room. I still don't know what to do with it, though. Because really, a kitchen and a cafe are the only things we could do. We could put some more vending machines down there. We could put some seats, but I really don't think we need them. I guess we'll try it. We'll throw a bench there. And we'll throw a bench there, possibly? I don't know. I guess we'll keep a bench there. We'll get rid of this bin and throw two benches in there and see what happens. Because, you know, maybe people will want to have a seat. Yeah, she's keen. That's totally fine. She was also a little bit hungry there. But we're not going to stress too much about it. I guess they might very well want to sit. They have just gotten off of a flight. Their bus isn't there yet, so it actually makes perfect sense that they would want to have a seat. I don't know why benches in arrivals is such a foreign idea to me, but there you go. Can I do this? Like, can I get that built? Now that's going to be a security breach right there, because we don't have the fence anymore. And I have just realized that is possibly an issue. Oh no, that's not a security breach, because it's not a breach from this side to the tarmac. It's just a breach of the gates. But we should be alright with that. I mean, no one's currently at the airport, and it looks like this is going to be finished by the time people do start arriving. There we go. So all we need to do at this point is spend 38,000 on that last segment, and that's the size that the departures area is going to be. It's going to be a fairly chunky space, but it's going to extend all the way out to here. And we're going to have gates lining this side, some big gates on this side. We're going to have 2 runways up here. We're going to have a runway over here and a runway down here. There's going to be runways for days. That's the episode. That's the title of this episode, Runways for Days. And I need to remember that. Hold on. I've got my pen. I've got a pen. I've actually made a point of keeping a pen on my desk for this very reason. I've also got a little notepad that I got recently. Again, for this very reason. So, what episode? SimAirport. I'm actually writing this down. Airport, number 4. RUNWAYS for days. There we go. Written that down. Enjoy. You're welcome, internet. That's some riveting gameplay right there. Let's just put my other note that I tore off of it back on the top of the pile. There we go. Beautiful. So that's that sorted. That's that order of business done. We have the episode title out of the way. If you've ever wondered, by the way, how episode titles generally come about, it's generally not a very creative process. It's usually like, oh, what's this episode about? Oh, security bottleneck, or oh, everything's fixed, or runways for days. Sometimes it's a quote, sometimes it's not. In this case, it was a quote. So these guys are now done with that particular extension. What I'm thinking is that I could bring a little corridor off of there. Just like that. Let's do that. Because that could work really nicely. And I'm kind of hoping it does. So we'll bring a little corridor down here. And then ideally, we are going to bring a corridor like that? Possibly? We'll see what happens. This should work though. This should give us a little bit of a quicker way into baggage claim, but I realize that may also give us a bit of a security breach. Possibly, possibly not. Let's get the security exits and throw them there and there, so that we are going to have a nice secure space. We'll get one there and there as well. And then of course we need to go back in and actually get the walls that these guys have decided to tear down. There we go. So yeah, that's actually being used. That's beautiful. That's exactly what I want to see. So we have this nice secure area. I can actually rearrange baggage claim a little bit as well to make it look a bit better. That wall's back in, so they come straight down through here. We have room, if we need it, to extend security as well, which is beautiful news. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to destroy that large door. I'd also like to clear all of this out of there. Just like so. Then I'd quite like to put a wall just there. Just to block all of that up and force them through this way. Because that seems like a pretty good idea. And then the rest of this is going to be demolished. It's that simple. That's what we're going to do. We're going to demolish all of you. We're going to... Oh, no. Hold up. Cancel. Where are the... Oh, it's going to be a problem for baggage claim for a little while, but they're going to have to deal with it. Let's go to demolish then. And let's go to demolish. And let's get some walls just there. And that, I mean, that does change things considerably. That does give me room to get some big gates down there, which is quite exciting. So let's go to zones. Let's go to baggage claim. Let's extend it into that space. Let's go ahead and get some of the old carpet down here. Just like so. We can extend some carpet this way as well. For the old baggage claim. Extend some carpet up to here too. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to measure this, because this should be 18, right? So I'd like to go 8. Which is what that is. So if that's 8, that's the 2 middle points. So the 2 middle points are there. So I want to get this... I want to get this carpet. No, I want to get this carpet. No, I want to get this carpet. I want to get this carpet, and I want to bring it the whole way down through the middle here. So I know that's the middle of all of that. And that's going to be really useful, because my plan is to have the gates obviously on either side of that sort of middle corridor. But I'd also like to have some benches lining that. I'd like to make it look really nice. I'd like to do some good stuff. So hopefully we can make this look really good. I am going to put this carpet down here, because that's going to be the go-to carpet for the entirety of departures. So hopefully we can make that work. It does look like it's taking my workmen quite some time to do what they need to do here. And it does seem like there is the occasional flight that is getting cancelled. Now this airline here, that was a Beechcraft though. Why was that I don't know why this one wasn't approved. It seems that the airlines are not very happy. I'm not quite sure what's up with that. I guess airline approval is down a little bit. So if they're not happy with me, they will cancel a flight. That's basically what that's telling me. So that is a bit of a pain in the butt. Have we had another one? No, that's the last one of the day. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's up with that. It seems that the airlines just generally aren't very happy with me, but we'll not worry too much about it because, for the most part, we're making money. We have 121,000 at the moment. Also, a lot of garbage down there. There's the garbage truck coming in, though, so that is going to back things up a little bit. But we can still get buses to pickups, so people can still get a ride away from the airport. So this has all been demolished. We have the carpets going in. But I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I'd like to go and shrink this queue just a little bit here. Just to begin with, because that needs to go slightly. So it's going to come across like this. Which, obviously, not quite as ideal as we had before. But we're going to do that, and we're going to use the clear tool to go ahead and... Well, we can't do it until construction's done. But the clear tool basically rips everything out of here except for carpets. So it's kind of useful. It's kind of a really useful tool. I'm also thinking it might be an idea to get more work. We only have 5 workmen. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. There we go. So we have 15 workmen, which should make this so much quicker. We are going to need a fair few workmen anyway. That's something to keep in mind. Because a lot of this construction work takes a long time and it's quite a big project, so having all of these guys will be quite useful, especially since they're still not done. So yeah, that's gonna be nice to get that finished. We can go ahead and use the clear tool though, which now that I think about it is not a great idea at the moment because it's now the beginning of the day and people are like, hey, let's go to the airport, because that's how you go to an airport. It's like, hey, let's go flying. That's not at all how people use airports. I am realizing though that to do what I want to do here and not massively interrupt the services at the airport, I'm gonna need to add a 3rd gate. So I need to add a large airplane gate here. And in doing that, that gate can take over from the one in the middle that'll be getting disrupted. So if I build an airplane gate there, and I'm obviously going to have to build the terminal out towards it as well, which is quite an expensive endeavor. Quite an expensive endeavor indeed. 154,000. Can we get a big plane to land, please? Come on. Something huge land. With like 1 million passengers. That'd be amazing, good lord. 1 million passengers on a flight. I mean, that would be... You know what? I'd say that would be amazing. That would be hell. Imagine being on that flight. That would be miserable. You know what would be worse? If you... Right. It's 9... No, it couldn't be that. Half of the flight is made up of screaming children who are miserable because their flight was delayed by 90 minutes. The other half is like parents, basically, and you are the 1 million and one-th for the... You're an extra on the flight. Now that is my personal definition of hell, ladies and gentlemen. And with that said, I think I'm going to leave it there for today. You can sort of see what's going on here. We're going to extend the terminal out this way. We're going to get 2 more airplane gates in here once this one gets replaced. And we're going to have a central corridor going down through departures, which is going to be incredibly useful for well, whatever it ends up being useful for. What I will say before I wrap things up for today, though, is that I'm curious to know what other kinds of, what other games you'd like me to play after this one, because this one isn't going to last forever. It's not going to be a super long Let's Play because it is such an early alpha. I am really enjoying it. I'm really glad that I didn't keep those original recordings that I talked about, because this one's going a little bit better. It's a little bit slower, which I'm liking because I'm thinking things through a little bit better. But I'm thinking maybe another brick in the mall. I've seen a couple of people saying I could revisit Prison Architect. I'm probably not going to revisit Prison Architect. Not that I don't like it, just that I'm not very good at it. But I'm trying to think. I think another brick in the mall could be a fun one, but I don't want to do it at the same time as this game because they look very similar. So I might do that eventually. We'll totally see what happens. But with that in mind, thank you kind of for watching. I'm going to put this taxiway down here because... oh, I don't have enough money. So hold on. We're going to wait for the money. We're waiting for the money. There's the money. So that gate is almost functional. Once the taxiways are in, that'll be more or less functional, which means next episode we are set to go ahead and get this gate moved and 2 gates in there. Now, like I said, that's going to be it for today. Thank you, Ken, for watching. This has been SimAirport Part 4. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!